want. Hello everyone. Happy Wednesday. I hope you are having a fantastic day. I am so happy you're here. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, conversations worth having. And today you got just me, and we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about what I'm testing out here, just to switch it up a little bit. So if this is your first time joining, welcome. If you're watching the replay, awesome. Be sure to jump into the comments, even if you're watching the replay. That's a big one. I want to make sure that you know that even if you're watching that replay, you're able to still jump into the conversation and hang out with us, because I will jump back into the conversation and talk with you. And when we have guests on, which I'll talk about in a second, they like to get in the comments as well and start checking in with you. So the whole point of the show is to be able to come on daily, Monday through Friday, and share some knowledge with you about business, tech, the user experience, and pretty much anything that goes with that. The other thing that I like to do here is bring on guests. So if you've been watching, or if this is your first time tuning in, you can actually jump into the comments or watch the replays of the previous episodes over here on the page. I also have them on YouTube and on the blog. So if you're not into Facebook and you don't want to be distracted, I have them over at checkwithed.com. Just click on the blog and it's over there for you. So if you would like to become a guest, later you can go over to checkwithed.com and click on the Facebook Live show, and you'll find out more details about the show, and you can request to become a guest, and then I can bring you on and have you hang out and talk with me and my audience. And the beauty of doing this is that we not only get to share our knowledge and have a conversation about it, but we also get to engage with each other's audiences and really grow our online relationships, which is what I'm all about. So that's what this show is about. Now, let me talk real quick about the testing that I'm doing today before we jump into random news and then today's topic, which is going to be about teaching simplifying our teaching. See, when you go live, anything can happen, and that's okay. You just keep it moving. So what I normally do, well, I should say the way this show started out at the beginning was actually using the new Facebook Creator app, which is still currently available for iPhone. Now, that's what I'm using today. Now, I started with that, and it worked out great until the week of Christmas, I think it was, and it started having glitches for me. So I have an awesome tech support guy over at Facebook, Adam. If you ever see this, shout out to you for following up with me. But he's been able to follow up with me and let me know the status, which currently we're still at square one with trying to get guests to come on via the Facebook Creator app. So what happened is I ended up switching over to BeLive.tv, which has been awesome, and that's what I've been using the past week and a half, I think now. Today, though, I wanted to switch back to Facebook Creator app. Since it's just me, I don't need to bring on a guest and be able to test it out. What am I testing? Well, Facebook loves video, right? Facebook loves video that is directly through them, through Facebook.com. Well, they're also wanting to push this new Facebook Creator app. So I'm testing to see if this video is going to get more engagement or more reach, whatever. I'm going to look at all the stats and see if this video ends up having more higher up in the numbers than my other broadcasts. Now, again, I really don't care about the numbers because my job is just to show up and deliver. If anybody else comes on and hangs out with me and jumps into the comments and shares and likes and does the hearts and all that stuff, that's all bonuses. But my job really is just to show up and deliver. And so I'm going to look at the numbers, though, to see if this Facebook Creator app, if they're monitoring this to see if how many people are using it and trying to push those videos higher up than those who are using third-party software. So that's a little behind the scenes. I like to share that information with you guys. Be sure to pop into the comments, say hi, ask questions, share. Also, go past the like and do the heart or the laughing if I do a funny joke or something. That way, yes, there we go. Live viewers, I love it. Thank you. So that's kind of behind the scenes of what I'm testing out today and why the whole frame looks a little different. If somebody wants to try, hey Charlotte, if somebody wants to try to be a pop-up guest today, we can certainly try to see if the Facebook Creator app has fixed itself yet. I highly doubt it, but if anybody's camera ready and would like to during the broadcast, I can attempt to bring you on just to say hi and to see if it's working. If not, no worries. We'll keep moving forward. Now, before we get into today's topic, which I'm going to share a little tip on how to really simplify what you're teaching people, because we all go through this, myself included, and we're constantly fine-tuning things. We're constantly finding things that we are passionate about. We're constantly doing the work and realizing that some of that work is not what we want, so we have to pivot. We have to change it up a little bit. So we're going to dive into that and talk about how you can really start to simplify things and kind of what I've been doing as well. But before we do that, I'd like to get into what I'm going to call right now of this segment is random news. So imagine you're at Costco. Costco's always packed, right? And it's January, so we're going to go back a month here. And, well, yeah, we're still technically in January, but that's okay. We'll go back a few weeks to the end of Christmas. We're at Costco. We're standing in the return line because, you know, we got that pressure cooker that we really don't need, so we're going to just return it. And in front of us is a lady who is carrying a really, really big dead tree. That's right, a dead Christmas tree in the returns line. She goes up to the counter and returns her tree at Costco for a full refund. Now imagine being in line, or even being the guy or gal at the Costco register, and you have a customer who shows up with a dead Christmas tree after Christmas to return it for a full refund. Like, I don't even know. And I've worked in retail. I don't even know. Like, like that's crazy. I'm sure there was plenty of looks and I'm sure there was plenty of comments, but like they always say, I mean, you could pretty much return anything at Costco. So, I mean, that's it. So you can apparently return a dead tree to Costco after your holiday party. So there's that fun fact for you. So now another random news part that and that happened in Southern California, by the way. Yeah, Charlotte, right? Nuts. It's so crazy. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that we're not all perfect, right? No light bulb there. But what I also want to point out is that even the biggest companies like Apple have tech problems. We all have tech problems. So it doesn't matter how crazy tech savvy you are, how much of an expert you are in marketing or social media or whatever your field is. You know as much as you know. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So you constantly are studying, you're researching, and you're just doing the best you can, right? That's why it's important to be passionate about something, especially if that is your business. But even the best, like Apple, still have tech issues. And what am I talking about? Talking about last night for a short amount of time, but of course everyone notices because everyone watches companies like Apple very closely, and they were able to have a screenshot. The page on the iPhone, the page on apple.com for iPhone was completely bare. Now, there was still text on there, but it was all just basic text. Like, everything just in one long strand there. There was no fancy pictures. There was no clean design. I mean, it was minimalist, like bare bones. Like the website had crashed. If you ever had a website crash on you, or you typed in something and all of a sudden your whole page is just messed up. Yeah, that happened to Apple. It happens. Of course they fixed it and it's back to normal, but for that slight period of downtime, they had the same tech issues that we all go through. So really keep that in mind, that it's okay if you have an issue with your tech. We all go through it. You just need to know your resources, and you just need to know who to go to, hashtag check with Ed, right? When something happens, when you're trying to build a website, when you're trying to work on social media, when you're trying to do your sales or work on marketing, advertising, whatever it is. Like, you need to find you know what you're doing, you know what you really want to do, like just really, really want to do it. And then you have to find the resources and the tools that you need when you want to do something else or when something goes wrong, right? So that's why I'm so well connected with people. That's why I love having a growing community, and why I like to share all these little tips and tools and tricks with you guys, because we can't all do it all. Like, there's a lot of us that can do a lot of things, but when we start marketing all of that, it gets confusing for us and for our potential clients, customers, everyone that we're talking to. When you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. And you will find that out if you haven't found that out already. And it's okay. It's a growing pain that we all go through. Sometimes it takes years. Trust me, I know. Before you get to where you really feel you're in your groove, where you're really like, okay, I got this, and when I don't, guess what? I'm calling so-and-so. You know, perfect example is when it comes to web design. I mean, that's what I started with, and that's the reason I got into web design, was because I was tired of seeing people get screwed over with their website. You know, a simple website that they got, I would hear horror stories of how much money they spent. Or, you know, their designer not doing simple things like adding a link for them. One of my clients that finally found me, it took almost 6 months before her previous designer would even get something to her. I was like, what? 6 months? You can't wait that long. You can't be doing that. Like, it's not professional, right? And so that's the reason why I got into business for that. And yes, hey Felicia, yes, I have not really marketed myself as a web designer, because it's just one of those things that I like to do, but I just didn't really like say, hey, I do web design all that much. But now that's shifted a lot, because I have been doing that for clients and I do enjoy it. And now I've become more specific on what I do with that, because web design's huge, right? And take this example and apply it to whatever you're doing. So web design's a huge, huge space. But then I start narrowing it down to, okay, I focus on WordPress, WordPress.org specifically. Now I can still build something on Squarespace, and I will, you know, if somebody requests that, but my main focus is WordPress.org. So then I'm narrowing it down. But then I need to get even more specific. What do I do? Because I'm not a coder. I know some code, but I am not a coder. So I'm not going to sit there and code a website for you. I'm not going to sit there and code an e-commerce site for you. That is not in my ballgame. Like, I got a digital store I can set up for you, but that's going to be through the way I know how, and I'm not going to have like all these crazy like full-on shopping carts and things like that, like some crazy stuff. I mean, that's way outside my ballgame. But I can deliver a digital store for you for your PDFs and your video links and things like that, you know? So really being more aware of what you can and can't do, more importantly, what you don't want to do, and knowing who you can turn to. You know, like, for instance, SEO. Sure, I know about SEO, but I don't want to sit there and go through the SEO optimization. For those who don't know, SEO is the search engine optimization. It's those keywords that we type into Google or Facebook to find things. Well, Facebook, but you know what I mean, like those keywords, you know, how to build a website, and then things pop up. So it's that kind of stuff that, yes, I know it, and yes, I'm going to do some of that on my site, for my personal site, but I don't offer SEO. Like, that's not my thing. I want you to go to a specialist for that. And that's why even on my personal profile, I've asked people like, hey, are you an SEO expert? Let me know, just so I know who my resources are. And that's what you should be doing, is asking people in your network, like, just a specific question. who does blank. And that way you have them on your radar and you know who they are so that you can call to them when you need them. You can refer people to them, because I'm not afraid to refer people. If it's something I can't take on or it's better suited for somebody else that I know, I'm going to be like, hey, here you go. And then that builds your credibility. That builds your know, like, trust factor too, right? So keep that in mind. And this phrase that, I mean, I've heard it before, but this phrase has been coming up a lot this past 2 weeks, I think, is, and I'll say it here because it seems like the theme for 2018, because like I said, 2018 is the year of growth for all of us. And so if it's not a hell yes, it's a no thank you. And that's something that you really should be thinking about. It's not how much more can I take on, how many more clients can I get. It's not about that. It's how narrow and deep can you go? How can you fine tune it more, right? Also, those joining, be sure to share and show love and jump in the comments. So really understand that you want to really bring it in, and it's never too late, and you're always developing, but you really want to bring it in and you want to get more specific. And I'm going to show you a way that will help you get this specific, with what you offer in just a second. But the more that you do this and the more that you really fine tune things, the better. A real life example, I'm doing this in my business too. I've decided I got 3 things that I want to focus in on. I got step number 1 is building a website, because I'm marketing myself as an online concierge, because I know a lot about online tools and resources that connect people, specifically entrepreneurs, to the places they need to go. I realize not a lot of people are tech savvy. And even if you are using the technology, you still aren't very tech savvy, right? And so you need somebody who can speak your language and break the tech down. That's what I do. So I decided to just market myself, and of course this can always change, but to market myself as an online concierge. You come to me because that's where I start to refer you to where you need to go, whether it's my services or somebody else's. So step 1 of my offerings is web design. Then I move over to marketing, which is helping you create content, helping you think outside the box, reviewing your social media posts, things like that, being creative, because that's what I love to do. That's where I go with that. And it ties into the first one, right? Because you first have to get a website, then you have to figure out how to market the content. You have to first get a website, then you have to create content, which then you have to figure out how to market, which then leads us to number 3, which is my favorite, building online relationships. That's what I'm all about, is how can we make more of a community? How can we build our relationships? Because it's not about the numbers, it's about the relationships. And so having this 3-step process, which literally, I mean, I've been doing it for many years, but literally just came to me recently as a simplified version of what I should be doing and focusing on, is like, boom, mind blown. And it's okay, because I've been doing the work that's been leading up to this, and you figure it out as you go along. So don't feel like you have to be perfect. And it feels like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, because now it's like, okay, cool. I have 3 main spots that are all in line with each other that I need to focus on. Now, again, this can always change, but there's still the 3 core pieces of me that I've done for years and that I want to hopefully do for years to come and help people with. And people recognize that. So ask and listen. Ask yourself, ask people in your audience and on your social media profiles, and just listen to what they say. You know, I've been doing that a lot more recently, and utilizing stories on Facebook and Instagram by asking questions in there, because then some people feel a little bit more open to answering because it's just you and them, right? Versus posting it in the comments on there. So just keep that in mind as well. All right. So and I have some of you guys here. So are you guys feeling that way too? Do you feel, for those of you who are live, and if you're watching the replay, you can actually comment as well, because I'll follow up with you. But do you feel overwhelmed with what you have to offer? Like, are you still trying to find that fine tuning? Are you still working your way to finding your specifics? If you are, that's okay. We always should be, because we can always get more specific, right? We can always narrow down what our focus is. And it's not about how much we can offer. It's about what can we offer that's really going to make an impact, and run with it. And we're always constantly learning that and being able to work with that. So really keep that in mind. Felicia, yeah, perfect. I did, but I started to eliminate things. Exactly. It's about eliminating things. We go so big, right? It's kind of like, it's basically that BSQ method that I talk about. Think big, act small, move quickly, right? Sometimes we get way too big, especially as an entrepreneur, and if you're a creative entrepreneur especially, we get way too big. We go way out. We have this long list of all these things that we want to create and do, and we want to go there and be an expert in everything, and then we realize we're overwhelmed. We can't do it all. We have to figure out what to do. And so then we start knocking things off the list. You know, for me, I've had on my list, not that I'm focused on them right now, but I've had on my list writing a book, TV show. Well, boom, we have the TV show here. A magazine, which I did a magazine before, but like a newer magazine for entrepreneurs. The list just goes on. And I have actually a whole big white Post-it note, the big ones, in my other room with the whole list there, so that I can always look at it when I'm ready to get to that next level. But it's all about like just writing them all out, which I'm going to give you an exercise here in a second, writing them all out, and then starting to fine tune things down. And if you don't know, ask people around you, and that not just in real life, but on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever your community is at. Ask them, what do you think I do based off of what you know? You know, obviously phrase it the way you want, but like ask those questions. Ask if you have a specific thing that you offer. Ask people, would you be interested in blank? For instance, I asked in my stories the other day if anybody would be interested in me creating a membership group for tech support. And what does that look like? I don't know yet, because I was thinking it could be tech support in terms of, helping with quick questions, as well as, cheering you on when you're doing things, and being able to help people focus on going live and being able to just embrace technology. Again, I don't have the specifics on that because I don't want to dive into that, create this thing that nobody really wants. So that's why I ask people. Of course, feel free to share in the comments now and later if that's of interest or if you have any insight on that. But the whole point is that you just want to start asking people. You just want to start listening to what the responses are. So then that way you can figure out if it's something that you should be creating and something you should be spending your time, money, and energy into, right? So just keep that in mind. Now, the exercise. One way that you can do this, and of course feel free anytime to share any insights, the tips that you have on how you're doing this, but one way to go through and narrow things down, or at least help you get organized, is to get index cards. So I have two sets here. I actually have more, but I have two different colors, right? I got green and I got white. Now, you can take index cards and run with it. I would suggest, and you can do this a few different ways, but I'm going to suggest having two different colors, and you can have more depending on what you're mapping out, but have two different colors, and I would say pick one color that deals with your website. So I picked green for my website, and I wrote blog on the front here. Then I picked white for social media, so I wrote Facebook. Now, the reason I picked two different colors was because I'm going to have more things under each category. So let's stick with the green for right now. Green is my website. So I'm going to stick with blog. My next one would be shop. My next one would be services. Whatever it is, you're going to put one topic on the front. Very specific topic. So this one is blog. So this is the part of the website that we're sticking to, the blog. Then on the back, you'll write 3 main topics. Now these can be talking points. Given that we're talking about the blog here, this could be the 3 main topics that you talk about all the time. If you're going to go over to your other color, which in this case is white, and we're talking about social media, for Facebook, on the back you would say, what are the 3 talking points you want to cover in your Facebook Lives? What are the 3 talking points that you want to cover on your Facebook page? So then that way it gives you something to refer back to. It gives you clarity. And why do I say 1 topic and 3 talking points? Because that's manageable. That's what's allowed me to get more comfortable with going live Monday through Friday. It's a big goal, and I've been able to do it because I've taken the edge off. I've been able to say, all I have to do is go live with 1 topic and 3 talking points. That's it. That makes it so much easier. Welcome to everyone joining. Jump into the comments, say hi, be sure to share and show some love. We are just getting into it. So when you have your index cards and you want to start with the index cards, and because we have everyone jumping in, and I like to repeat what I'm talking about because it sits in more, is that you get index cards. Then you start writing 1 topic on the front with 3 talking points on the back. Now, specifically, I'm going to show you again. Green card I chose to be representing of my website. A website is huge. Website has the home page, it has the blog, it has the about page, it has services, it has the shop, all of that. So they're not all going to go on 1 card. You're going to take the color and assign it to your website. Then each card is going to be a specific spot on your website. For this case, it's the blog. Then on the back, I'm going to write 3 subjects that I talk about. 1, 2, 3. Then that's done. So now whenever I'm trying to figure out what to write about, I'm going to look at this card, turn it over and say, oh, those are my 3 main points that I want to cover all the time. Now let's shift over to the other color, which I designated white to be social media. You can see it's Facebook because social media is huge. We have tons of profiles. This one is going to be Facebook. Now, I should be more specific on this one for the purpose of you guys, and so I'm going to put Facebook page. Because Facebook's big, right? You have your personal profile, you have your business page if you're in business, and you might have a group. So that would be 3 white index cards with each one labeled differently. So this one is Facebook page. Then on the back, I would put the 3 talking points or the 3 main subjects that I cover on my Facebook page. For me, it's business, tech, and the user experience. That way I'm always reminded to go back to those 3 talking points. You can do this with your courses. You can do this with anything. Just remember to designate the colors to a specific subject like your website or your social media, and then make sure that each index card has 1 specific topic on the front and then up to 3 talking points or 3 areas that you're going to cover on the back. Now this is what's allowed me to jump into live broadcasting and be able to feel more comfortable with going live 5 days a week. It's a lot. It is a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. Some days it's still nerve-wracking, like today. I don't have a guest. As you guys know, for those who are new, I like to bring guests on, and my goal is to have a guest on almost every day of the week, Monday through Friday, which you can find out details at checkwithed.com. But the reason I want a guest on is because then I don't have to sit here and talk all day long, but I also have somebody else that can share their knowledge, and then we can all work together as a team. Teamwork equals success, right? To really engage with each other and share our expertise and be able to grow our networks, our relationships. So that's why I've decided to do this talk show. And so some days will be short, some days will be longer, but that's the beauty of having a live talk show and setting those goals. You know, starting out, I decided I was going to do 1 topic with 3 talking points on the back. That makes it so that it's so much easier to talk about whatever it is. This is how I do courses. So for those who aren't familiar, stupideasy.com is where you can go create online courses. Part of the actual outlining for a course is 1 topic, 3 talking points. Boom, next lesson, next subject, whatever you want to do. It makes life so much easier, and you can apply this to whatever task you're trying to accomplish. A lot of you might have issues with blog posts. I know I do, but guess what? Not anymore, because I'm doing the Facebook Lives. Let's see what Nikki has here. Been kicking this idea around. Yeah, trying to narrow it down. Exactly. Homeschooling since it's so bored. Yep. And if anybody, by the way, I'll pause for a second. If anybody is interested in trying to pop on live to the show right now to say hi, is camera ready? Let me know. I will attempt, because today we're testing out Facebook Creator app again to see if they fixed the issue. The issue was that they weren't allowing me to bring on guests, so the app's still glitchy because it's still new. So just throwing that out there. Nobody has to, but if somebody's camera ready and they actually wanted to just say hi, we could attempt it. I can't make any guarantees though. So yeah, exactly. Try this note cards, and the reason I went pen and paper is because it's comfortable. We know what it feels like. We can let the ideas just flow a little bit more naturally than going to the tech. And it's easy to move these around. You can post them up on your boards. You can post them on the walls, whatever. The reason I went with the index cards and not Post-its was because Post-its are just meant for the front, and you post it somewhere. I want you to be interactive and post a subject on 1 topic on the front and 3 talking points on the back, and I want you to be able to flip this guy over when you need to look at it. So really keep that in mind. That's the reason why I went with the index cards, not the Post-its, because it really does help. So start utilizing that exercise, and obviously let me know how it goes. You can always jump into the comments on this video or any other video and share how it's going for you. Also be sure to share other tips and tools that you use to help you narrow down. And Tammy, topic idea: how to get camera ready at a moment's notice. Ah, yes. Well, whenever somebody needs to get camera ready at a moment's notice, you just need to have good lighting and make sure that you're not in a crazy distracting place. You know, you don't want people, especially people like in the house or somebody who's just got out of the shower, you don't want people running around, you know, going left and right. Make sure all windows are closed or whatever. But yeah, you just want to have good lighting. But yeah, so there also will be more about Facebook Live and how to do the intro and outro. A lot of people have been showing interest in wanting me to create some kind of training around that. I am thinking about doing a live training. It would be a paid one, but not through Facebook Live. It'd probably be through Zoom. So I'm open, of course, to anybody's thoughts on that later. You can share in the comments or PM my business page here and let me know your thoughts on that. But a lot of people have been asking me to do some training around getting an intro video and an outro video, whether you're using the Creator app like I am or BeLive.tv, because we've been using that as well, which has been awesome. It's been a great way to still do the show with being able to bring guests on. So it's just interesting. And that's the thing, you guys, we're always testing. That's what we need to be doing. And that's why I love going live. I will say it's nerve-wracking before you go live. I'm right there with you. Even though I do it every day, it's one of those things that really, because you just don't know. You don't know like who's going to show up. You don't know, how long your topic's going to go, whatever. But because you guys show up, it gives me more confidence to keep going, even in my live broadcasts. And it's like, no, I'm going to show up and I'm just going to deliver. I know my 1 topic with my 3 talking points. All I have to do is show up and deliver. Then it's your job to jump into the comments, to engage, to share, to heart, to whatever, even afterwards. Like that's your job, right, as the viewer, not only for my broadcast, but for anybody's broadcast. So really keep that in mind And that's what I hope that I can inspire you to continue to do. I know I've had a lot of people the past week and a half tell me they've been sharing their experiences, that they're starting to go live, they're starting to comment more. I'm seeing them comment more. I don't know if they know that, but if you're watching, you know that I'm seeing you. So it's nice because I have a lot of what I call secret followers, which we all do. And those are the people that show up, but they don't really engage. They haven't jumped into the comments yet. They haven't started to interact with the broadcast in terms of sharing or the emotions. And so you guys are showing up, which is awesome. And I want you guys to start practicing that, because the magic really does happen in the comments. And that's what you really want to pay attention to wherever you're at. It could be your blog, it could be your Facebook group, your Twitter chats, your Instagram profile, whatever it is. The magic happens in the comments. That's how you get to know other people. That's how you make the connections that are going to take you to the next level. That's how you're going to be able to be a guest on the show, right? Even though you're watching and I tell you to, go ahead and fill out the form over at Check with Ed, but even though you'll probably see something in the comments where you're like, actually, you know what, maybe I should. And it doesn't have to just be that. It can be anything. So really try to push yourself this year. 2018 is about growth. And together we're going to get you there, and we're going to go at our own pace. But I'm going to push you along the way just a little bit more, because that's what I do. That's what I like to do. So anyway, that's what I had for you guys today. A little shorter than normal, which is fine. But I want you to practice that exercise. Let me know, follow up. You can always check the blog at checkwithed.com. You just click on the blog, and there's actually these videos get posted as a blog post over there. So remember how I mentioned I struggled with blogging because I just like to just all the time, right? As you guys know who have been watching. And so for me, trying to sit down and write a blog post and then try to get a featured image and then a title and then this and that, oh my gosh, I was like, I don't want to be doing this. Like, this is not what I need to be doing. I want to be out here talking one-on-one with you, hanging out, engaging with you in the comments, and then going from there. I don't want to be sitting behind a computer, trying to figure out a blog topic, trying to write it, have the grammar all checked, trying to do this and that. No, I wanted to do this. So guess what? This is what I'm doing. And this gets put into a blog post, and we're good to go. So I don't have to worry about that. And then if I do feel like writing one, I'll go over there and write one, but it's not weighing me down anymore. So, and I have a system in place for that, but it's been awesome. So that's what I mean, is that you just have to really ask yourself, what is it that you want to do, and how are you going to get there? And if you need help, then you know where to find me, checkwithed.com. That's where it's at. So anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Hang tight for the outro and jump into the comments, and I'll hang out there with you guys afterwards as well. Take care.